Welcome everyone to the big January birthday party. Unfortunately, I will still not get my double dip butter pecan from Oneida, but I keep hoping that one of these months we'll all be together and be able to have our ice cream and cake and punch again. It's January. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping by to watch his woods fill up with snow. That famous poem by Robert Frost. Here's one from a gardener. January is the quietest month in the garden, but just because it looks quiet, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. The soil, open to the sky, absorbs the pure rainfall, while microorganisms convert tilled under fodder into usable nutrients for the next crop of plants. The feasting earthworms tunnel along, aerating the soil and preparing it to welcome the seeds and bare roots to come. I think that's sort of helping us to remember that better times are coming because the earthworms are at work. The two zodiac signs that we are remembering this month are Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorns celebrate from January 1 to January 19th. They're traditional, but also quite independent people and ambitious. Many people think that Capricorns are not very emotional, but it isn't true. You simply manage your emotional expressions, so we don't always know. January might start in a frustrating way, and having fun or finding motivation might be a challenge for you. The state over the world is very frustrating. I must say it's frustrating, not just to Capricorns. And it is for everyone. Your task in 2021 is to learn to put yourself first. Remind your friends and family that when it's your birthday, they can celebrate with you, but they have to do all the work. The rest of the month is occupied with those under the sign of Aquarius. Their sign begins on January 20. Congratulations on surviving 2020. Your emotions run deep, Aquarians, and the stress of the pandemic has taken a terrible toll on you, as on many. As an intellectual, you use your brain to try to stay busy rather than sink into despair. You may have found yourself organizing virtual family gatherings and get-togethers and doing other good works. And while these are all honorable tasks, you must be exhausted. It's likely that you're in need of a little care and love for yourself these days. Your task in 2021 is to put yourself first. In January, we're going to celebrate National Bath Safety Month, which I think is really good for all of us here in Westminster as we get older. Be careful in the bathtub. National Blood Donor Month, National Oatmeal Month, I just love oatmeal, and National Soup Month. And my husband is a real soup Nazi, he makes great soup. On the 1st of January, we're going to celebrate National Hangover Day. But since we don't have a party here, like we always did, we'll probably just, eat oatmeal or something. But it is New Year's Day. On the 2nd of January, you run your idea up the flagpole and see if anyone salutes it. And if not, well, you might just as well put it away for this year. On the 3rd, we have the Fruitcake Toss Day and the Feast of the Three Kings. The 12th is Hot Tea Day. And on the 13th, it's Make Your Dream Come True Day. On the 17th, it's Get Rid of Those New Year's Eve resolutions. You never intended to keep them anyway. And on the 18th, it's Martin Luther King's birthday. The 21st is National Hugging Day. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could actually hug people again? I would love that. And on the 24th, it's Give Everybody a Compliment Day, which we will need. So it's fitting for us to honor Dr. King today with a special song that meant so much to him and to the movement he had when he was alive. I think we all know it, so we're going to sing it together. It is We Shall Overcome, and we're going to just do 2 verses. We shall overcome and we shall live in peace. Loudoun and Belmore and everywhere you are. So I hope that you enjoyed that little song in the middle of the day. There are 6 Westminster residents in the Health Center who are celebrating birthdays in January. Ruth Kamsler will be 98 on January 1. Diane Zayers celebrates on January 2. Alice Benner's special birthday is January 7. Bob Brown is going to be 96 on January 9. Linda Patrone's birthday is on January 13, and Mort Spooner will be 97 on January 16. What wonderful birthdays. Please remember our friends in the Health Center with a card or maybe a special note. They are going to celebrate with their own birthday party sometime this month. Happy New Year and happy birthday to 2 of our friends here on January 1. On New Year's Day, Kathy Redwine and Barbara Ryman, actually 2 neighbors of mine on Loudoun Drive, are going to celebrate their birthdays. On January 1, everybody knows that we've been taking temperatures all along here at Westminster and everywhere we go. But in 1724, Fahrenheit created the first glass thermometer and the temperature calibrator. In 1818, Mary Shelley on this day published Frankenstein in 1863. And the Emancipation Proclamation was issued by Lincoln on this day in 1863. And in 1979, Haldeman was convicted of Watergate crimes. So this is an auspicious day, January 1. Birthdays: Paul Revere in 1735, Betsy Ross in 1895, J. Edgar Hoover in 1912, the spy Kim Philby in 1912, and just a minute here. Let me get these dates straight. Paul Revere, 1735, 1752, Betsy Ross, 1895, J. Edgar Hoover, 1912, Kim Philby, and in 1919, the author J.D. Salinger. Can't remember if I put the dates before or after the name, it gets a little confusing. All right, on January 4, it's John Webster's birthday. In 1932, the British Viceroy of India arrested Gandhi and Nehru. In 1935, Bob Hope was heard for the first time on network radio. And in 1944, Ralph Bunche was selected as the first African American to work in the U.S. government. And in 1954, Elvis Presley recorded his first demo record in Memphis. In 1785, Grimm of Grimm's Fairy Tale had his birthday on January 4. Louis Braille had his birthday in 1809, and Doris Kearns Goodwin, the historical writer, in 1943. On January 6th, it's going to be Sheila Winchester's birthday. Happy birthday, Sheila. Next week is your birthday. In 1838, Morse demonstrated his telegraph in New Jersey, and in 1907, Montessori opened her first school, and in 1929, on this day, Mother Teresa arrived in Calcutta. In 1580, it was John Smith's birthday, John Smith of the Virginia colony, on January 6. 1910, Loretta Young. I can still remember her. I can't imagine 1910, that seems a long time ago. In 1931, the writer E.L. Doctorow, and in 1944, Bonnie Franklin. Wasn't she on TV and something or other? In January 7, it will be Leroy McLaurin's birthday. In 1610, Galileo on this day discovered 3 moons of Jupiter. And in 1955, Marian Anderson on this day, January 7, became the first African American to perform at the Metropolitan Opera. Notable birthdays include 1800, the President Millard Fillmore, in 1957, Katie Couric, and in 1964, the actor Nicolas Cage. There are 2 birthdays on January 8, Paula Brown and Mickey Shepard. On this day, January 8, in 1790, George Washington delivered his first State of the Union address. And it was, of course, the first one. In 1867, African American men were granted the right to vote, despite President Johnson's veto. And in 1918, Mississippi ratified Amendment 18 in support of prohibition. Oh my goodness, I'm glad that's gone. In 1959, de Gaulle was ratified as president of France. All of this happened on January 8. Famous birthdays include Elvis Presley in 1935, 1942 was Stephen Hawking, 1947 David Bowie, and 1983, a name we've heard this year several times, Kim Jong-un. Now, on January 13, we're going to say happy birthday to Ron Tallman. On January 13 in 1610, Galileo discovered the 4th satellite of Jupiter. In 1930, the first Mickey Mouse movie was shown. And in 1942, Henry Ford patented the first plastic autobodies. And in 1962, Chubby Checker started a dance craze, the twist. I never was any good at it, but I have seen people who really are. On this day, January 13, Robert Stack had a birthday in 1919. 1925, Gwen Verdon had her birthday, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus in 1961. On January 15, 2 birthdays in Westminster, Mary Young and Michael Fowler. On this day in 1559, Elizabeth I was crowned the Queen of England. In 1861, Mr. Otis patented his elevator. You know Otis elevators? And in 1892, Naismith published the rules of basketball for the first time. In 1412, on January 15, Joan of Arc was born. In 1906, Arionasus. In 1908, Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb. And in 1929, Martin Luther King. Bev Moran has a birthday on January 18. Along with Bev, Pizarro was born on that day. He founded Lima, Peru. He was born in 1535. In 1943, the Soviets broke the siege of Leningrad. And in 1983, Jim Thorpe's Olympic medals were restored to him 70 years after he won them. On this day, January 18, in 1782, Daniel Webster was born. In 1882, A.A. Milne was born, of Winnie the Pooh fame. And 1892, Oliver Hardy. 1904, Cary Grant. And in 1955, Kevin Costner. Bev Moran shares her birthday with some kind of really neat people, doesn't she? On January 19, it's Pat Murphy's birthday. Edison built the first overhead wires electrical lighting system in Roselle, New Jersey in 1883. That's kind of neat to think of. And in 1915, there was the first air raid by Germany on England. And in 1955, the first presidential news conference was televised. It was first recorded and then it was televised. In 1807, Robert E. Lee had a birthday on January 19. Edgar Allan Poe in 1809. Paul Cézanne, the great painter, in 1839. And in 1943, Janis Joplin. I know you've all seen Bob Coleman walking his dogs in the morning. Well, his wife Carolyn has a birthday on January 20. And on this day, in 1801, John Marshall was appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And in 1869, Elizabeth Cady Stanton became the first woman to speak to Congress. In 1945, FDR was sworn into his 4th term as president, and that's the last time that happened for anyone. The birthdays on January 20, 1888, Leadbelly was born. Leadbelly is a wonderful folk singer, and he spent quite a bit of time in prison. Maybe that's where he developed all those wonderful skills. But do you ever sing his songs? I bet you do, and you just don't know they're written by Leadbelly. In 1926, Patricia Neal has a birthday, and in 1930, the astronaut Buzz Aldrin. Oh, and now my favorite ice cream scooper has a birthday on January 21. Oneida Raimondo will celebrate her birthday on the 21st. Agatha Christie published her first novel of Hercule Poirot on January 21 in 1921. And in 1977, Jimmy Carter pardoned almost all of the Vietnam War draft debaters on this day, January 21. In 1824, Stonewall Jackson had a birthday, 1905, Christian Dior, and 1940, Jack Nicklaus. On January 24, it's Cleo Shannon's birthday. And on this date, in 1908, Robert Baden-Powell created a manual for Boy Scouting. And in 1935, for the very first time, people could drink beer out of a can. Can you imagine? That's the first time in 1935 on Cleo's birthday. Famous birthdays on this day were 1917, Ernest Borgnine, 1926, the beautiful dancer Maria Tallchief, and 1941, Neil Diamond. A lot of you still like to play his music. There are 2 birthdays happening on January 25, Sue Akel and Pete Orvis. In 1802, on January 25, Napoleon was elected president of the Italian Republic. In 1819, the University of Virginia was chartered with Jefferson as one of its founders. And in 1971, Charles Manson was convicted of murder, good and bad, happening on the same date. Famous birthdays include Robert Burns in 1759, 1882 Virginia Woolf, and 1981 the singer Alicia Keys. There are 3 birthdays closing out the month on January 28th. Earl Gossett, Rita Greenberg, and Anne Orner Tetmeyer. On this date, in 1547, a 9-year-old Edward VI succeeded Henry VIII as King of England. In 1813, Jane Austen published the book Pride and Prejudice. Gee, when I was in the 8th grade, I think I read that 5 times. In 1915, President Woodrow Wilson refused to prohibit the immigration of people who couldn't read to America. And in 1956, Elvis Presley first appeared on TV. Famous birthdays include Thomas Aquinas on 12/25, 1841, Henry Morgan Stanley, the explorer, Dr. Livingston, I presume. That's the guy, Stanley. And 1912, the artist Jackson Pollock. And in 1936, Alan Alda. Happy birthday, all you wonderful January Capricorns and Aquarians, and celebrate well this year. I mean, we really need to celebrate to the max, the best we can. So now the happy birthday singers are going to join me on Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everyone.